I'm back. Okay, so this one is about being pregnant with uterine fibroids. So I was able to, so let me start with some positive news, some encouragement. I was able to be pregnant and carry the baby full term with uterine fibroids. I had two fibroids. One that was, there may have been more, but the ones that they focused on, because they told me you have quite a few. One was 13 centimeters, okay? That's huge. That is huge. I remember being frightened, worried, concerned, not knowing what the heck was going to happen at my 21-week ultrasound, when they do the anatomy scan, and they told me, the fibroid is 13 centimeters. It is, it's bad when the woman that's doing the sonogram is like, ooh, oh my gosh, do you know you have fibroids? That happened to me, and I was like, yeah, but my doctor said it was okay. And she was, she kind of freaked me out. And I talked to my doctor about it, and he was like, yeah, you do. It is 13 centimeters, but right now the fibroid has outgrown the baby. The baby has outgrown the fibroid. When he told me that, all was well within my soul, literally, because I was really worried. But when he put it in that perspective, the baby has outgrown the fibroid, I was like, okay, great. Now, that was that 21 weeks. As we kept going with the pregnancy, I noticed that he never ever said much, about them anymore. And everyone, I'm not a small gal. I mean, I'm not a small gal, okay? So I stood up so I can try to show you my stomach, but it didn't work right. So anyway, I am 5'3", currently trying to lose my pregnancy weight, and I weigh 194 pounds right now. I'm not a small gal, never been. Not morbidly obese, but not skinny, okay? So I really thought when I got pregnant, I was going to be big. I have mentally prepared to be big, okay? And I wasn't that big, and people were saying things to me like, Kim, are you starving that baby? Which hurts, you don't want people to be like, dang, you're huge, girl, but you also don't want people to be like, oh, you need to eat, you don't want that either. And I just thought, with my body type and everything, I just thought I would be bigger. And so I noticed that I wasn't getting that big, and also I never ever really could feel a lot of fetal movement. And later on, now that I know what I know, I believe a lot of that was attributed to the fibroids. My fibroid was in the front. I believe that's called anterior. It was in the front. So it made the baby's kicks and movements within the first 5 months very, very difficult to feel. It also caused me to basically, I could pee like that. I mean, if the wind blew and I shivered too much, I peed. If I sneezed, I peed. If I jumped, I peed. I peed all the time because of the pressure and the size of that fibroid on my bladder. So that was something that I experienced with the fibroid. I also, there was one night during the pregnancy, this was in the beginning, and I was terrified. I think it was like 13 weeks. I had just made it out the first trimester, so I was able to tell people, and I was excited. But it was short-lived, because I started to have the most, I had a lot of pain and pressure in my lower back, and also, in my bum, okay? So I had to stop and think of a classy way to say it, because I was going to say something else. But I had a lot of pain, and it was like pressure. Like, it felt like it was, it was a lot of pain, and I had never felt that pain before. I mean, it was so much pain that I couldn't even get comfortable sleeping. I had to sleep on the floor. Bless my husband's heart, he slept on the floor with me. There was no resolve to that pain, and I just really prayed about it. I just kept praying about it and talked to my doctor, and eventually it went away. I don't know what that was to this day, but I do believe strongly it was attributed to the fibroid. And some of y'all might give me flack on saying I prayed about it and that it would go away. Go seek your doctor. If you're having a medical problem, go see your doctor. Go see your doctor. Also, you can pray about it too. Go see your doctor and pray about it. I didn't say just, sit in a room and pray that it'll go away. No, because it might not, and you might have some serious problems. But anyway, so I just wanted to preface that. So I had all that pain and pressure, And then eventually it went away. I'm guessing, I don't know, it didn't, because sometimes when you're pregnant and you have fibroid, it can dissolve on its own. And when it does that, it can be very, very painful, excruciatingly painful, to a point where you have to go to the hospital. And it's basically like it bursts. And if it bursts, it's gone, but it's like having a baby. It hurts like holy heck, okay? So anyway, according to Baby Center, I don't know for sure, but that's what the Baby Center woman told me. Shout out to babycenter.com. Anyway, so I had all that, and so that was a pain. The whatever I experienced where I couldn't lay anywhere, I had to lay on the floor. That was attributed to that fibroid. The peeing all the time, not being able, because it was pushing on my bladder. That was the fibroid. Again, it was 13 centimeters, and I had a baby in there. So I spent a lot of my pregnancy afraid. I didn't know what the outcome was going to be honest about it, because of the fibroids. And I kept trying to find people that were in my situation, and there were dead communities on Baby Center, like women with fibroids, but they hadn't like updated anything since like 2005. So nobody could tell me like how did it end for them. Like was your baby healthy? Were you able to have a vaginal birth? How was it? I wanted to have a regular natural birth. And if you want to hear that story, click like and subscribe and give me a shout out. Let me know you want to hear it. I'll create a video on it. But anyway, the pregnancy with the fibroid, main point, the big overarching thing about that is I didn't gain as much weight. And that's strange, because usually women that have fibroids, it pushes everything out and you can see it. Maybe this is because it was my first pregnancy. That's why I didn't get that big. But I really thought my stomach was going to be like swollen. I thought it was going to be just huge, and I wasn't. And one more thing about being pregnant with the fibroid, when I just fast forward to the end result was that the baby wasn't as big as I thought she would be. I went over my due date. I was 40 weeks and 6 days. I just had the baby November 20th, so this is very fresh. And she was 6 pounds and 12 ounces, within the average of what's the norm for a baby, but I really was surprised. So here's some things, and then my doctor also, another thing he didn't do is he didn't monitor me as much as I really wish he would have, because I felt like I was I felt very afraid, because 13 centimeters is pretty big. So anyway, so since the baby and everything, I've had my 6 weeks check and all that, and everything they said is fine. But again, in another video I talked about blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses is known for shrinking fibroids and helping to eliminate them. So I continue to take this. I take a tablespoon a day in my oatmeal, and I hope that this will, in addition to my lifestyle changes, I hope that this will help them to just go away. Because you can't have surgery, but a lot of doctors have the school of thought, if it's not broke, don't fix it, don't mess with it if you don't really need to. Anyway, so being pregnant with them, one thing that I can say is that they, I want to tell you how I delivered the baby, but I'm also going to I'd like to share my birth story, so if you want to hear it, click like, hit subscribe. But the main thing that I could tell you with those fibroids when I was pregnant is that basically, there's a lot of pressure that on top of the baby, and your bladder that was crazy. And then it was that pain that I had, and the pain it was just terrible in my lower half of my body. It was not fun. So that was my story. Basically, if somebody tells you, oh, okay, you're pregnant and you have fibroids, oh my gosh, the world's over. Not true. You can deliver healthy. Your baby might be a little small. It may have a little growth restriction, which I think that's what happened, but my doctor didn't say that, but I strongly believe because she was 6 pounds and 12 ounces, and he had led me to believe that if I went over my due date, she was going to be really big. But that wasn't the case. And then you can talk about sonograms, how inaccurate they can be and all that. So anywho, that was it. Click like, hit subscribe, find me on Instagram. Bye.